I think, yeah, we're up by now. Hey everyone. So, as kind of usual, I'll give it till about five after. Well, I guess I don't really have too much to dive into outside of answering any questions. So I'll just be sticking around for that. If it gets to about 8:30 and there's not really any questions and not that many viewers, I might call it early. But definitely down to stick around the whole time, answer any questions about anything from the course, about this coming homework, about, I don't know, anything programming stuff. But normally on Sundays I kind of do the like high level overview, right? But it's mostly included here on the potential game logic. That's kind of one way you could chop it up. I think kind of having functions to do these kind of things that take account for these aspects too, in addition to these kind of five heuristics, is the way to go for the game. Probably the most straightforward way. But again, hopefully it's kind of matching the mental model you had for this kind of guess the word hangman type game. This, you have six lives. Then if you guess a letter that's not there, you lose a life. Otherwise, you're good. If you guess a letter that's already been guessed, just prompt them again for it. Don't lose a life or anything like that. Um, I guess something that may be different or not really matching of the mental model would be like after every basic input, you're going to want to kind of refresh them on what the state of the game is. So show them the word and show them the guess letters in an alphabetical list. So if I like guess B and B's not there, then I would want to see, hey, what letters have I guessed? Because you can imagine if the game goes kind of far and you're like 20 letters into the alphabet, are you really going to remember everything you guessed? Probably not. Yeah, also don't forget you can assume only like letters will be submitted. So I think you even have the case where like uh, LE, right? Like two letters could be input. Yeah, like right here. So like always going to give you a letter. You do need to check for capital or lowercase, so you can just make it to lower like we did for the last homework, or two homeworks ago, I think it was actually. Um, yeah, so you'll always get like that kind of input. So, if you want to make sure it's just a single letter, maybe you'll want to do something with the length, LEN to check. So that shouldn't be too bad of a check. You can like also safely assume everything input's going to be a string, and it'll be a string of letters. So and it's our last office hours today, which is sad, but you're done with this. You can enjoy some summertime before starting classes. It's still over like a month, right? I don't know when classes start. I think the 26th. So it's good. Gives you time to brush up on more programming if you want. Have a little vacation. For those of y'all working, just keep working. So you'll have money during the program. I'm gonna also make an announcement that has like a little link that's kind of, a lot of courses do like into class survey things. So there's like official FCE ones that like the school gets that I don't think will be going out for this course, but I'm just going to give like a Google survey out that you can do totally anonymous. I don't want the name. I don't want any indication on who does it. Just kind of looking for feedback on like what you like, what you didn't like, how you would change things. You know, super brief. I know no one does these things, even if it's like only 3 minutes to do it. You just click on the email and you just ignore it. But I would really like if y'all could do that. They'll only be read by me, and again, it's anonymous, so be as brutally honest as you want. But it is super short, and I would love any kind of feedback because pretty sure I'm going to be teaching this again next year, so next summer. So I'd love to be able to make improvements, and with kind of the homework and the labs and quizzes and all the questions everyone submits and how y'all perform on these is already a really good indicator on like what I need to change and kind of tweak a little bit. Um, and same with like the content in OLI. So I kind of already have like a decent amount of stuff. So getting kind of y'all's input would be some icing on the cake for it. So look for that to come out. I need to input the homework grades for 3 and 4. Labs quizzes are all up to date. Labs, I think 3 and 4 there. I still need to grade 5 and 6. I've graded homework 3 and I'm working through 4, and then I'll put those in Canvas because I don't like grade them in Canvas. But I'll put those up. Again, nothing to worry about grade wise. Not too much feedback. I think lab 3 of everything had the most kind of feedback. So don't forget to look for that. And it's not the most intuitive on Canvas, but yeah, this little exclamation mark, or not exclamation mark, I don't know what I'm saying, the like chat bubbles. That's where your feedback is. Score, grade. Most of your classes will also probably use Canvas, if not all of them. Hope it wasn't too bad. Some of your classes, so I think some will also use Piazza. So if you, I really like Piazza as an instructor and as a student, I like Piazza. Um, so if you are in a course that uses Canvas, or even if you're in a course that doesn't use Canvas, but it has like TAs or something and they don't use Piazza, I think if you're a fan of it, you could totally suggest it. Like I'm not sure if Pui uses it, but Pui has TAs. So you could definitely get Piazza going in there if it's not already. But I think they use it. Yeah, I don't really have much to say. I'm just checking email on my phone. I, but I'll still stick around till like 8:30 in case someone comes in late. I think if you are worried about classes or PUI, you could maybe now do like an intro to JavaScript kind of thing via one of the mini kind of MOOCs out there or one of the more like kind of text and project based things. Start getting up to speed on that a little bit if you wanted, but I wouldn't be too worried about it. Um, but it could, yeah, it could be nice. I think something too, there's so for JavaScript, I think some of the favorite resources of mine um, to learn JavaScript are the kind that like make your own kind of website. So there's one that's like something like Treehouse, learn web programming. Is it still around? Yeah, maybe they've expanded. I remember when Treehouse came out in like 2012 or something. It was really good, and it was just about web programming and for making like a website. And I think that's useful because when you want to find a resource to help you learn programming, I think there's so many, especially now. There's like so many different ways you can learn Python. There's so many ways you can learn JavaScript and all these other languages. And I think there's a lot of important stuff from like a pedagogical standpoint on there. But I think like your kind of end goal and motivation are huge. And then how active it kind of gets you is another one. So most kind of MOOCs that are just videos and at the end you answer multiple choice questions with like very little actually in the code, I think is like pretty terrible. For the earlier units, it's not that bad when you're kind of learning these concepts, but having at least to play with like a few lines of code and actually getting in there, I think is like way more beneficial to learning. And if you could watch a 10-minute video, read some text, and do some activities, or watch an hour and a half video, I mean, most cases your learning is way better from the more active one. Hence the kind of learning buzzword, active learning. So I think something that really gets you engaged like that is useful. And then kind of having an end goal. So if you're really into like video games, there's so many things. It's like make a game, learn how to program. But with the kind of web page one is especially in the MHCI program, having a portfolio is like huge. So having like your own personal site that's, whatever your name is.com or some variant or whatever it is, and then kind of showcasing like your resume and some of the classwork you'll do and like your capstone project is like going to be a huge part of it and all the kind of work you already have that got you this far. So if you don't already have a website, I think that's like a great way to kind of build one up. Even though I think you may have to submit a portfolio, I don't remember. But even if you do have a website, maybe you want to stop using like Wix or one of these other kind of drag and drop ones and build your own up with those kind of skills now that you kind of have this programming knowledge. So that's super doable and kind of gives you like an extra level of motivation on like, I want to revamp my site and portfolio while also kind of learning JavaScript. So it's kind of like that win-win. It's like helps you toward the career goals while also helps you learn programming. So those are kind of cool tools. I mean, there's a bunch on there that's kind of like learn how to program while making a website or portfolio. So I don't have like a specific one, I guess, to recommend, but that's good motivation. And especially when I know it's like a big thing. It's like everyone needs a portfolio, and you tell yourself, oh, I'll do it during the class year or whatever. But when you're taking like so many courses and have all this coursework, you find yourself kind of running low on time to actually sit down and devote like a big chunk of hours to updating your portfolio and kind of making it right. So kind of starting over the summer is great, or holding off to like winter break, or maybe you'll have time during the fall. But I think generally people are kind of busy with courses. I'm having trouble keeping track of the lives across my multiple functions. I reduced by 1 if the letter is not in the word and it's not being guessed of 4. Going to the next function, it will re-enter 6. Any tips on how to make sure lives are tracked and updated as it moves from one function to the next? Yeah. So one way to do it, I actually don't have any code here, but is let's say we have like, I don't know, some fun, right? And let's pass in, I don't know, the word lives. Maybe that's it. So, we like get some input, do some logic, right? Um, need to reduce lives because, they did something. Then if we return lives, and so then if we have like start, then we have, let's go 6. Then we can do something like call some functions, and then we do like lives equals. I mean, I'm not going to run this anyway, but so like we only want to call get word once, right, to get the word. So maybe in some of these functions, we're going to want to pass the word so it always knows. And then if we want to like pass the lives, if we also return the lives that we then modify to this, then it'll update us. So then you can keep kind of passing it and returning it. So that's like one kind of good way to do it. Or if you like, I mean, there's like so many ways you could set up your thing there too, but you could also like return, I don't know, something. And then we could just like parse this. I don't really know why you'd want to return more stuff, but maybe like true or false too in there. I don't know. But then, right, so then lives gets updated because it's a list. So the list is returned from some fun. And then we kind of like index into it and get out lives. So that's one way. I guess maybe more fitting would be like false or something. But then out here too, if we did the original kind of like thing like this, then we could always check how like, also presumably we're in like some kind of while loop. Then, if lives less than like whatever, do some stuff. So there's like kind of a lot of ways. Yeah, so if you're like assigning it to that, you're gonna want to like do something like this. You're gonna want to have the return. I'm gonna step away for a minute, but if you have any questions, post on there. If someone comes in late, hopefully they'll see my message. But I'll be right back in like probably 5-ish minutes. I just don't want to end the stream early in case. So I'll just leave it up for like 5 minutes, but I'll be right back. I am back. Probably gonna hop off in like 5 minutes then if there's no questions. All right. So I'm gonna close them down, the stream currently, but I'll be on Piazza tonight, as well as tomorrow morning, pretty early. So if any questions come in right before the homework's due, definitely post them on Piazza. What else? Grades will be coming out this week. Don't think there's anything particular with those. Um, yeah, and I guess if you have unused flex days and like really want to use them, you could use your flex days and make this last homework due later. But you probably just kind of want to get the class over with. So, but if you do, just let me know. Want to use flex days, that is. And yeah, that's all. Hope you had fun in the class. Hope you learned something. Keep an eye out for any announcements and for the grades to get posted online. And we'll wish everyone good luck in the MHCI program. Uh, yeah, you'll enjoy it. The follow-up courses, this is super fun. All the courses in the program are fun. The capstone course is amazing. Pittsburgh's cool if you haven't been there before. Carnegie Mellon's a great place to be. So yeah, exciting times. And enjoy the summer while you can. Definitely. All right, I'll see y'all.